The 12 Men That Changed the World. If you intend to try to be the next person that changes the world, a good place to start is looking at the why and how other people have achieved this in the past. In these 4 videos I am going to attempt to break down the main 4 categories of men that have the most effect on today's world. The 4 categories are tyrants, humanitarians, innovators, visionary. The people that I have picked in each category, they are very different in the way they change the world. Some of them will be celebrated for making the world a better place. Some will forevermore be despised as the most evil men to have ever lived. Understanding the motivation of these men and what the effect of their actions were. So having said all that, there are 3 main questions. 1. Do you want to change the world? 2. Can you do it by creating positive not negative effects? 3. What category will you fall into? In this video I'll be taking a close look at the first 3 men. These men are responsible for the largest amount of crimes against humanity the world has ever seen. No one else was able to compete with them in the 20th century. They were devastating to their own people, committing mass murder on an industrial scale. I give you the first video, the tyrants. This is Adolf Hitler, born the 20th of April 1889, died the 30th of April 1945, was an Austrian-born German politician who was the dictator of Germany from 1933 until his suicide in 1945. He rose to power as the leader of the Nazi Party, becoming the Chancellor in 1933 and then taking the title of Führer und Reichskanzler in 1934. During his dictatorship, he initiated World War II in Europe by invading Poland on the 1st of September 1939. He was closely involved in military operations throughout the war and was central to the perpetration of the Holocaust, the genocide of about 6 million Jews and millions of other victims. The war he started killed somewhere between 70 and 85 million people. The people of Germany lost just under 7.4 million and many lived in fear for many years under his rule. His racial hatred wiped out whole families of Jewish, Romani, Slavs, also handicapped and gay people. He will always be the worst person to ever have led Germany and one of the most bloodthirsty tyrants of the 20th century. This is Joseph Vissarionovich Stalin, born the 18th of December 1878, died the 5th of March 1953, was a Soviet revolutionary and politician who was the leader of the Soviet Union from 1924 until his death in 1953. He held power as General Secretary of the Communist Party of the Soviet Union, 1922 to 1952, and Chairman of the Council of Ministers of the Soviet Union, 1941 to 1953. Initially governing the country as part of a collective leadership, he consolidated power to become a dictator by the 1930s. Ideologically adhering to the Leninist interpretation of Marxism, he formalized these ideas as Marxism-Leninism, while his own policies are called Stalinism. Stalin promotes an image of himself as a great benevolent leader and hero of the Soviet Union. Yet he is increasingly paranoid and purges the Communist Party and army of anyone who might oppose him. 93 of the 139 Central Committee members are killed and 81 of the 103 generals and admirals are executed. The secret police strictly enforce Stalinism and people are encouraged to inform on one another. 3 million people are accused of opposing communism and sent to the Gulag, a system of labor camps in Siberia. Around 750,000 people are summarily killed. With the future of the Soviet Union hanging in the balance, Stalin is prepared to sacrifice millions to achieve victory over the Nazis. German forces sweep across the country and by December 1941 have almost reached Moscow. Stalin refuses to leave the city, deciding victory must be won at any cost. The Battle of Stalingrad is the turning point of the war. Hitler attacks the city bearing Stalin's name to humiliate him, but Stalin tells his army not a step backwards. They suffer over 1 million casualties but manage to defeat the Nazis in 1943. The Soviet army begins the long push back into Germany and all the way to Berlin. After World War II, large parts of Eastern Europe are under Stalin's iron control until his death in 1953. Many German soldiers captured will never see Germany after the war, as well as captured Russian troops will be sent to the Gulag to be worked to death. He did this to captured Russian troops because they got captured. It was very hard to live under this tyrant. He ruled with iron fist and for the most part by fear. Mao Zedong, born 26 December 1893, died the 9th of September 1976, was a Chinese politician, Marxist theorist, military strategist, poet, and revolutionary who was the founder of the People's Republic of China, PRC. He led the country from its establishment in 1949 until his death in 1976, while also serving as the chairman of the Chinese Communist Party during that time. His theories, military strategies and policies are known as Maoism. During the land reform campaigns, large numbers of landlords and rich peasants were beaten to death at mass meetings organized by the Communist Party as land was taken from them and given to poorer peasants, which significantly reduced economic inequality. The campaign to suppress counter-revolutionaries targeted bureaucratic bourgeoisie, such as compradors, merchants and Kuomintang officials who were seen by the party as economic parasites or political enemies. In 1976, the U.S. State Department estimated as many as 1 million were killed in the land reform, and 800,000 killed in the counter-revolutionary campaign. This man used his power to sweep away anyone who went up against his ideology, killing millions. That's why he will always be known as a tyrant. He ruled mostly by fear and intimidation. As you can see, these men were all ruthless and did not care who they killed to get what they wanted. If you look at their lives, they all went through poverty in their younger years, they all served time in jail, all of them were known to be very vain men, and last but not least they all killed a lot of their own people. These men did change the world. The only way they did this was with the blood of others, and having lived at a time in history, they were able to take advantage of the prevailing circumstances. These men should have lived insignificant lives. This have been Philip Gale for Morning Thought Farm. Follow me on Rumble, Instagram and Facebook. If you know someone who would enjoy this video, please share this video with them. Please remember to subscribe and like the video. You can also send me a comment. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.